In this video, we're going to be practicing Kakasana and Bakasana. They're very similar to each other. Kaka is going to mean crow or raven, and then Baka means crane. So Bakasana is more like the extended version of Kakasana in this pose. The difference is that in Kakasana, our elbows are bent. In Bakasana, we're going to extend the arms. Okay? So it's helpful to practice maybe with a cushion in front, just until we feel stable in this pose. It's also helpful to practice with blocks, which I'll demonstrate after. And we want to put all of our fingers splayed out on the ground when we're practicing this pose so that we're distributing the weight to the entirety of the hand instead of maybe just the heel of the hand, okay? So to practice this pose, we'll start with some wrist flexion exercises. Warming up the wrists, always make sure that you're stretching them out before practicing a balancing posture. And we're going to begin in Malasana, all right? So our knees are open and we're going to bring our hands out in front. So with this pose, ideally what we want is to have like the knees right in the upper arm area, okay? So we're going to bring the palms in, bend the knees or bend the elbows, and lift up onto the toes, okay? So for here, I feel like my knee is kind of pressed against my upper arms, almost into the shoulders, and then lean forward. From here, you can lift one foot, see how it feels, lift the other, see how it feels, and prepare for the pose by making sure we're balanced, okay? To get into the full version of this pose, we're going to lean forward instead of lifting the feet. So we balance the feet off of the ground by leaning forward onto the arms, onto the palms, okay? So we lean forward and the feet come off. Okay? Lean forward, bend the elbows, and that's our crow. So the various options to practice with the blocks, or we can have a block underneath the head. If we need to create more stability in front, it's also optional to have the blocks under the feet so that we're putting the weight still on the feet as we begin to ease into being able to balance. So in this way, our feet are on the blocks and we lean and we're already lifted, so we're pretty much already in the pose. So for the full version of Bakasana, you would just extend the arms and lift the body up. Right? Let's see how well I can do it. Hands planted, palms firm. Lift, elbows bent, and extend the arms. So the benefits of this pose are we're working with the arm muscles, the abdomen, and we're also working with the hip flexors as we balance the legs open on the arms. And we're also going to be working with the hamstrings to kind of keep the legs together in their bent position. And then there's a bit of symbology as well that comes with practicing Bakasana, the crane. The idea is like cranes are very symbolic of a fluidity and a stability in movement. So where the crane might be balancing on one leg, we're balancing on our arms to get that same idea of balance and stability. It's also optional to think of it as where the crane stands in water, we're standing in the water of our own emotions and unconscious. So what are those emotions that we're going through? What emotions have been guiding us in our day-to-day life? And how can we find more stability and balance in those so that we might be able to understand them and have them be a part of our life, but also find the peace and the stillness in the water that we might be able to bring into our daily life, bringing a stability and balance into our emotions. You can also think of it as a way of how do I find this stability and balance in my own life. Are there fears distracting me? Is something getting in the way? Am I becoming too focused on stuff that doesn't matter? Or am I simply holding myself up as I move through my daily life and not letting fear get in the way, not letting this fear of falling get in the way, being able to firmly stand in your own space in the world. So I hope you find this video helpful. Remember, it's always okay to fall. You know, that's why we have the optional cushion, just in case the first few times we might end up, you know, wiggling a little bit. Maybe we fall back, maybe we fall forward. What's important is that we pick ourselves up and we continue to try. So thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Namaste.